Aloha, Monroe Murdoch, broker owner of Love Hawaii Realty and Love Hawaii Villas, and I'm bringing you another Hawaii travel update to assist you with your future travel planning. Really felt like there was a need out there to distill the local news and bring it down into a digestible format that you can briefly go through and get all the latest updates without having to spend hours going through all the different news articles, sorting through articles unrelated to travel and things like that. So we do feel like this is an important need and ask that you please share these videos with others who may find them beneficial. And if you can do us a favor and please hit the subscribe and the like button below, that would be awesome. With that, let's jump right in. And please remember, you can reference all of the news sources cited in the article link in the description below. And in the blog article we'll have the video, and then we'll have all the text from the dialogue today, as well as a bunch of other links down there. So check that out. So before we jump into the Hawaii case counts, I just wanted to show respect and appreciation and sympathy also to just all those who have been affected by COVID-19. As we passed 100,000 deaths in the United States of America, it is a somber reminder of just how serious the disease can be, and just want to say that our hearts and prayers go out to the families affected by this, and also those on the front lines. Really, everybody has been affected and impacted in so many different ways, but especially those who have lost loved ones. Here in Hawaii, we did have one new case reported within the last 24-hour period. It was a person on the Big Island, and that breaks a 3-day statewide streak of 0 new cases that we had, but still cases very low. Total case count of 644 cases that had been positive in Hawaii, with now 600 people having been released from isolation. Less than 85 people ended up needing hospitalization. So very small number, relatively speaking, of people that actively have it now. And the numbers of new cases have been very, very low or non-existent in recent days. Over 50,000 people in Hawaii have been tested for COVID, meaning approximately 1.2% of those who were tested were found to have had the virus. And so we're grateful that we have some of the lowest case counts in the country, and this is helping with our reopening plans. Today we'll be covering a lot of things, getting into businesses reopening and other things coming up. And so we're excited to share these updates with you. Visitor travel restrictions do remain in effect. Very strict 14-day mandatory quarantine for any visitors or returning residents to the island. So you can learn more about that and the resources we've provided here. When will quarantine be lifted? Again, at this point, we don't know for sure. It's a step-by-step process, and it will require inter-island travel to happen first and other measures to take place following that. So we're anxiously waiting and watching for dates on that, hoping sooner rather than later, but nothing definitive has been shared yet. In a Hawaii Tourism Authority committee meeting that happened today, May 27th, Wednesday, tourism leaders called on the governor to release a proposed timeline for reopening to mainland and international visitors. They're just asking for a date. What date can we plan on? That's really what's wanted and needed in the industry right now. There is an interesting dynamic with the leadership and political climate in Hawaii, and it's just good to be aware that we're dealing with multiple islands, multiple mayors, and different geographic areas across these islands. And so as a result, it can be a little bit disjointed, or it can be a little bit complicated to bring it all together. At the early stages of the pandemic response, there was each mayor taking charge for their areas, which was expected. And then pretty quickly after that, the governor realized he wanted everything to run through him. He wanted to be able to have consensus, or at least approve the mayor's plans. I think some of the mayors didn't like that so much, but it was an attempt to be there on a united front. I think one of the challenges we've been facing is that the Governor Ige, has not been the most decisive and taking the bull by the horns type of a leader. So then to channel even more decision-making responsibilities through him and his office has led to unnecessary delays, in my opinion. So now, in order for mayor's plans to get approved, it's got to go through the governor's office, and he's literally having to approve plans from multiple mayors from Kauai County, Maui County, Honolulu County. And so it's been a little bit of a power struggle, if you will, perhaps typical politics, but nonetheless, that is part of the dynamic, and it's important to be aware of that. And then in addition, you've got legislators and business and industry leaders, economic development people. They're all trying to weigh in and have their influence on what they predict, what they see is happening. So as we look at the news up and coming, it kind of helps to understand that dynamic behind the scenes, and that the mayors can't just say, hey, we're doing this, we're doing that. As much as they'd love to say that, they're developing the plans, submit it to the governor. Governor's got to review it, approve it. There's probably some back and forth. this makes things take longer than they really need to take, in my opinion. And so current status on Oahu, not too much has changed since our last update. There are multiple businesses open with more coming soon, as I'll talk about momentarily. People are wearing masks when they're out and about. That is expected, and social distancing is in effect. And, we're stepping towards getting things more and more open at the local level here. When people are out, at parks and beaches and exercising, they're typically not wearing masks. And what is the status of legal vacation rentals? The legal vacation rentals are still deemed as non-essential. We hope that will change soon, as inter-island travel is expected to resume fairly soon. Jumping into today's news and the updates and the headlines, I'd like to point out, the article below and all the references that I include on the page that we have, that the comments from Lieutenant Governor Josh Green are really the most bullish and kind of optimistic that I've seen regarding travel and resuming business and getting Hawaii back to business. And he made quite a few different comments. I took a lot of it down verbatim, and I'm going to put it in the notes. I don't want to get into a lot of it just for sake of time, but he essentially says, I want everything, open, meaning local businesses, and pushing for this by June 1st. And because the infection rates are so low here and there's been so few new cases, he feels that we're in a really good position, a safe position to start that. And an important phase is getting our local businesses opened here. So definitely take a look at that. I think the video coverage on him and his perspective, what he's pushing for, was really helpful. I will say that regarding inter-island travel, he understands that it's frustrating for people to not have a date on that. He basically said he's pushing for June 1st for inter-island travel, or they're pushing, recommending to the governor that hopefully June 1st can be the day that inter-island travel can start happening without the quarantine, right? So quarantine being lifted, Hawaii residents being able to travel freely between the islands without any quarantine restrictions. That would be helpful. That would be a good first step. Hoping to get there soon, maybe as early as next week. We'll have to wait and see. So Honolulu County's Mayor Kirk Caldwell has rolled out a plan for reopening businesses. Governor finally approved that. So starting tomorrow, Thursday, May 28th, the businesses that can reopen if they want include sea life attractions, water parks, pools, campgrounds, open markets like farmers markets and things like that, shooting and archery ranges. And then come this Friday, May 29th, businesses like hair salons, barbershops, nail salons, and tattoo parlors can open. So I'll be looking forward to seeing all the nice new hairstyles, all the freshly cut hair out there, and the fancy nails and the fresh tattoos, or whatever people are going to be doing this weekend, going crazy with it now that businesses are going to be opening up. Also, interesting note is that businesses deemed non-essential will be free to bring workers back to the offices. And that one had me scratching my head. I still haven't figured out what that means, but I guess non-essential businesses can bring people back to their offices. Go figure. Moving on, Mayor Kirk Caldwell has also said that he would like to see movie theaters, museums, and fitness centers be able to reopen by June 19th, and has a separate proposal going through the governor's office to get that done. So it's like a step-by-step process here, trying to get approved what they can as they can. Keep in mind that just because a business can reopen, it doesn't mean they will. Those businesses have a lot to figure out, get the staffing in place, the products, the services, whatever it might be. And depending on the needs that they have and their cash flow situation, some businesses may still choose not to open until more tourism resumes and things like that. The Honolulu Zoo is working towards a target opening date of June 5th. The popular hiking trail near Hawaii Kai, known as the Koko Head Tramway or Koko Crater Stairs or Koko Head Stairs of Doom or whatever you want to call it, reopened to hikers today, Wednesday, May 27th. And the trail had been closed since March. So that's a really cool hike. It's pretty rigorous, so not for the faint of heart. But when you reach the summit, you have amazing panoramic views of the ocean and mountains, and it's a really cool one. Representatives from Wet and Wild Water Park as well as Kualoa Ranch have stated that they're planning on resuming business operations by this Friday, May 29th. In other news, more than 100 cars filled with those who work in hotels and other aspects of the visitor travel industry drove through Honolulu to bring awareness to the need for safety in the workplace once tourism resumes. This was a union-organized event and was promoting importance of making sure that staff have adequate safety supplies, PPE, once they get back working on things. Now, wrapping up with neighbor island updates, Kauai's Mayor Derek Kawakami has been waiting approval from the governor, received approval, still waiting for approval from Governor Ige, should get it soon, I suspect, to open gyms, dine-in restaurants, playgrounds, spas, personal service businesses, live music at restaurants, outdoor team sports, etc. And so they would like to roll things out by June 1st as well. I imagine they'll have some approval here shortly. Probably in one of our next 1 or 2 updates, we'll be covering that. For Maui, Governor Ige did approve Maui County's plan to reopen business by Monday, June 1st, including dine-in services at restaurants, county and beach parks, playgrounds, gyms, rec centers, clubhouses, and dog parks. Maui County Mayor Michael Victorino stated in a news conference today, quote, "Allowing most of the businesses to open up June 1st is exciting news. We have worked over the last 4 or 5 weeks in slowly opening up Maui County. We are ready," end quote. He did say you got to be smart about it, be safe about it. Bars, nightclubs, community centers, and other venues typically used for larger gatherings will remain closed for the time being. That wraps up our news update for today. I hope you found the information beneficial. Please be sure to click the like button, subscribe for future updates, share this on your social media channels, and in the description below, you can access the links, the link to the article. In the article, you'll have a bunch of links to all the other news articles, and we will see you in the next video. Mahalo.